More race for the ring coverage. Brad, today's game, the Cavaliers were able to put it into overdrive right there in the second quarter, and they never looked back.
Came out, made a simple statement to Chicago that they were not going to be denied today. Played with enthusiasm and the vigor that you need to push forward towards the championship.
How much did they learn from the Game 3 loss?
Well, I think they learned a lot, Andy. I think that it showed them the fact that no one's going to roll over. People are going to come out and play you to the end, especially when you're the #1 seed throughout the entire tournament, or the NBA playoffs, rather. They're going to come out and go after them aggressively, and so Cleveland's going to have to match that game in and game out.
All right, let's talk about some key points in today's game. Why the Cavaliers were able to win. One, stepped up on defense. Left Shaq in the game with 4 fouls, yes, and there were plenty of good things going on.
Well, I think the 2 keys you should take away, the main 2 keys of this. One, LeBron James sets the tempo and always will set the tempo for this team. As long as he comes out and plays at a high level, traditionally that bleeds down to the rest of his teammates. The second thing, they find out that they are going to need Shaquille O'Neal and his inside presence throughout this entire playoff run, and the more work they can get him in, the more game shape and game physical activity they can allow him to have, the better off they'll be for each round.
How were they able to make the adjustment that they couldn't do last game? Outside was freeing up inside. Today, there was no inside for the Bulls.
Well, they came out with a serious effort on defense, first of all, to shut down Chicago and its penetration to the basket. I think in doing that, it allowed them to be able to free themselves up on transition opportunities. The other thing, they came out with a mindset they were going to win this game. It was not going to be given to them. It was not going to be close. They were going to open the door and open the spread for this game.
Antoine Jamison was robbing today, wasn't he? I mean, 24 points. Quiet 24 points, wasn't it?
No, he came out and played well. I don't think there's a such thing as a quiet 24. He gave his entire arsenal today, the flip shots, the jumpers, the three-pointers, the inside tips. He gave you everything that you needed. And he's going to need that type of performance because that's why they brought him here to Cleveland, to give a LeBron James that type of assistance.
It's quiet, though, when LeBron's got 37. I mean, that's the only way that becomes quiet, right?
Well, yeah, no question about it. LeBron gave you 37. His triple-double was 37 points, 12 and 11. So it gave a stat stuffer night, which was impressive for the Cleveland Cavaliers fans and their organization, and especially it sends a message to Chicago that, listen, he's going to be on top of his game for the rest of the way out here.
All right, they talked about it throughout the game, the look, LeBron's look, and how he just had stepped up mentally to another level. I mean, sometimes that's talk, sometimes that's a storyline. You believe it. Yeah,
I believe it. And it's not, so much you're stepping up your game. It is you're adjusting your mentality to have yourself focused on the task. And he was focused. And you can lock yourself in as like anybody can do at work every day. You can lock in on the task. And for those 2 hours, he was locked and loaded. And it showed at the end. I think Chicago left away scratching his own head. And I think that even the people in the United Center had to show some signs of appreciation for his performance today.
All right, is that the dagger on the series? They're not going back to Chicago later this week,
well,
right?
No, the dagger comes Tuesday, or at least the dagger should come on Tuesday. And so I know that Mike Brown's going to have his team ready to go. I know Shaquille and LeBron are going to lead this team. I know the people in Cleveland are going to be ready to go. And so when we get here on Tuesday night, we look to close out the Chicago Bulls that night.
All right, let's talk about some more individual efforts in today's game. J.J. Hickson, LeBron said he wanted him to play a little bit more. Fans were calling for J.J.'s name a little bit, too, and he got a little bit in there.
Well, he had the free J.J. signs. They went up today, free J.J. So we freed J.J. today, and actually J.J. performed well, gave him 10 points and 17 minutes off the bench. Great quality possessions and great quality minutes off the sideline. Hopefully that's going to increase as we go down the line. But I tell you, as always, it always depends on any bench guy, the matchups that the other team puts out there. When Chicago goes young and athletic, that forces Mike Brown's hand to play J.J. Hickson.
And that also meant that we weren't going to see any time from Zydrunas Ilgauskas today. I think he got 3 minutes at the end of the game.
Well, no, in this game here, Mike Brown did the classy thing and went over and asked him, did he want to go in? But, I tell you again, this is the big boy league. Everybody's on the team is well compensated. I'll say it again. They're well compensated to sit there. And so what you do is you have to wait for your time. And certain matchups dictate certain things to happen. And that's when Z's going to play. That's just how it is.
Why is that such a big deal, that he's got to go over and ask him, hey, I know it's slop time out there, but do you want to play?
Well, it's when a guy has been a quality asset to your organization, you want to be classy and show that to him. And I've seen that in Chicago. I've seen it in Detroit when I played. And so they pay the respect to that player and say, listen, it's mop-up time. We know it's mop-up time, but I'm trying to get you some minutes because I know I'm going to need you somewhere down the line. Do you want to go in today? And Z, as the class guy he did, respond and say, listen, put me in because he knows he needs to work too.
You seen guys say no?
No, my guys are, I'm a championship level team. My guys always want to go in. And so we don't try to embarrass guys. Coaches don't try to do that. And so they know they're doing it for a reason.
All right, there you go. Well, we've got more to talk about, more Cavaliers.